Amen. I am Pastor Shumonte Cooper, Pastor Redeemed Ministries International.
Man.
I'm not big with accolades and stuff. My apostle is Apostle DeMonte Edmonds out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Freedom for the Nations. I'm a radical individual.
Amen.
I came in earlier dressed up, but I told him before I preach I got to put my work clothes on.
Come on.
All right.
That's it, sir. That's it.
Because when I picked him up early this morning, I said, he pretty much like, why you got them dress clothes in there? Just in case. Because I've been to churches where you couldn't come in there with jeans and t-shirts.
Not breaking the law.
And they didn't let me in with jeans and t-shirts. They probably didn't let Jesus in either.
Say it.
Good point.
So I'm not hopefully I'm not here long before you. However God decided to move, but when he contacted me on Facebook, I'm literally about that too. I read the message and I waited. I probably delayed a couple of days before I responded because I had to pray about it. God has been doing some interesting things in my life in this season, and I kind of stepped back a little bit, and I still been teaching and instructing and guiding people, but I kind of stepped back and said, God, I need to get ready for where you take me to next. So I can't entertain everything and everybody.
That's right, man. That's right.
But he said, Sister Simone was telling me this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I did a hood check with you. I said, Simone, this pastor said he's been talking to you, and is this like a fake news or this real?
Come on.
And she said, no, he's good. So then I prayed again and said, okay, God. I said I wasn't going to go nowhere and preach the rest of this year. But as soon as I talked to him on the phone, 2 minutes in, I said, I'm coming. Where is it at again? I'm going to get there one way or the other.
Amen.
A day after I made that decision, all hell broke loose. My wife would be here today, but she had to go attend a funeral in Savannah, Georgia. The last couple of weeks, I've been going through ups and downs, dealing with stuff. I've been in hurricane relief. I've been doing all these different things, and I get there before the storm. And I've been helping people and doing all these different things, and then I started losing my voice, and I started getting sniffles. I said, what in the world is going on? This past week, I woke up at 3 o'clock every morning. 3 o'clock every morning, and couldn't go back to sleep. Didn't go back to sleep till about 11 o'clock at night. I was trying to pray. I was trying to do all these things. I said, God, what are you saying about this ministry? And he said, they are a praying ministry and a worshiping ministry. That's okay. What else? Because I can't just go there and tell them pray and worship. But he says we're similar in what God has called us to do. The Bible says, know no man by the flesh, but your spirit connected with my spirit. I said, man, I feel like that's my brother I ain't never met before. Legitimately, and I don't just throw that out there. People that don't know that. So, man, I'll be honest with you. I'm telling you in front of your congregation and people and y'all on Facebook and whoever knows it, I don't know. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you.
Amen.
And people that know me know I'm a rider. You want to go to the trap house and get some people? Let's go. You need to go to the hospital? Let's go.
That's it.
You need to go to the car wash? Let's go. You running short on bologna? Just let me know. I got you. I can't say that to everybody. But God confirmed to me that you're real. I can't deal with fake people.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
I stopped dealing with them about 8 years ago. So look at the history about who I am, because some of y'all have never seen me before. That's cool. But I still think we family. I've been senior pastoring for 10 years, 10, 0. I'm retired military. I was served in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I was in the Special Forces. I was the crazy ones. We went to crazy spots. I was kind of raised in church, but I wasn't raised in God. So life hit me hard. I knew scriptures, but I didn't know how to apply them. So God took me on a journey, and I just went through things that, if I tell you what I've been through, you say I'm lying. I don't look like what I've been through.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
don't smell like what I've been through.
Thank you, Lord.
I tell people how old I am. They say, how you retired from the army with no gray hair? Half of it fall. Now I got kids. So. But I learned how to depend on God without a pastor.
My God, man.
Because I had to spend time with God
That's it. That's it.
and not
That's
the
it.
personality of the person.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
So I don't have time to deal with fake. Because I know what I sacrificed in my life to get to where God is bringing me to. And I really feel that God pulling me to prophesy to some people, but I'm trying to just move on this side because they're pulling me. Is there somebody here named Tony? She's a Tony somewhere. I don't know what the letters are. Is it Tony? Is it Tony? You. Stand up, please. When I walked in the first time, it was a light over you. God kind of like put a light over you. Don't be scared. I know you. One thing I said, God, well, how do I tell it's a light over? What does that mean? Spotlight? Because you're not really used to church. Am I right? You're not really. It's kind of new. It's kind of new to you. You experienced it. Is it okay? Religion.
Yeah.
You're not used to liberty. You're used to church, but not freedom. We learn how to do church, but we don't learn how to be free in God.
Yeah.
So okay. So it's a lot of stuff that people have demonized that you just found out was okay. Okay, let me. I'm trying to be generic, but let me be. You like rap music? You don't like rap music? You don't listen to Cardi B? Okay, you just say it in church, folks. Okay, your pastor's right there. I got you.
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
Put it this way: the call on your life. Is she close to you? She is. She's close to you. Good. Because God was saying that's someone you need to walk closely with because of what He's calling you to. And some of the things that you have questions about, you can't ask everybody
That's right.
because everybody can't see behind your tent.
Mm.
I'm not trying to say it, so I don't like to prophesy over the microphone, but everybody can't see the vulnerable places. So this woman here, you have to learn to cleave to her where God is taking you to. Because there's going to be times where you're going to be struggling and you want to call your girlfriends, but some of the girlfriends that you need to get rid of ain't no good. I told you I'm real. If y'all can't handle it, let me go put the mic down. So don't be afraid what God is about to take you to.
Amen.
You're going to feel a stretch. It's going to be uncomfortable. But your calling is never comfortable when it first starts.
Thank you, Lord.
Jesus.
That's one of the hardest transitions, going from comfort to calling.
My God. Glory to God.
Jesus.
So I don't know if y'all pray like once a week, twice a week, however it do, but your prayer life got to increase. And not cute prayers. Don't keep asking God for stuff. Just asking God to deal with you like you don't have the stuff.
Yes.
So when you get the stuff, you can keep the stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your prayer life has to increase, but it also has to mature.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay?
Thank you.
Ain't nothing else deep. I'm finished. But make sure y'all spend some time praying, talking, reading devotionals, daily bread, something to build your spirit, man, up.
Amen.
Because there's some things that's going to come at you, but you got to be around the right people. Amen. There's another person in here. You sir, stuck out to me. Are you a pastor?
Yes,
You're a
sir.
minister. You're a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You're a pastor. God is about to elevate you.
Amen. Jesus.
Not because you asked for it, but because of your faithfulness. Levels. I hear levels. Your name Levels. Larry. Larry. Is your name Larry? Larry is going up levels. There's more to you than what you even can imagine right now. You've been poured out, but God is about to refill you to the capacity, to a greater capacity. When he showed me you when you came in, he showed me these 2 bottles right here. And I wonder why God kept telling me to keep drinking. I wasn't that thirsty, God. But you're like right here. It's a lot of good stuff still in here. It's a lot of electrolytes that this gives you. But what God is saying, I'm increasing your capacity. So you're not just going to be whatever this 20 ounces is. You're going up.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And I don't like to be super deep, but when he came and brought me this water, I said, I don't need the water. He said, what? He said, you need the water. I said, well, okay, well, I'm going to keep it. But once I read off the numbers on the second one was 33. And God said 30, that was my age. That was my age. That was my age. And his age at near his end, he said, that's a God-given thing.
Yes.
Man can't give you that.
Yes, God.
And some men won't recognize that.
Yes.
But God said, what I'm calling you to is not for them to understand, but it's for to get the glory that God is putting on your life. God says everybody is not going to appreciate your elevation.
What?
That's why, let me hurry up. That's why pigeons don't fly with eagles. You got some birds, some ground birds around you that's getting jealous of you because they can't fly, but they see you about to take off. And eagles never entertain pigeons. You find pigeons in parking lots because there's less motion. You find eagles on mountaintops because the air is thinner. They got to have better vision. They can see farther than a pigeon. A pigeon got a little brain. Let me let this go because I don't want to mess nobody up. There's some people around you that think too small. You can't even share your vision with them because they think too small. I ain't calling nobody else's name. I don't hear nothing God saying right now. Ain't no more names in there.
Hallelujah.
I don't think.
Yes.
I don't think. I'm trying to get to the word, y'all. I promise I got some notes. Now, praise God. Somebody give God a hand clap of praise. Don't duck. I ain't gonna call you name. You in prayer now, right? I know how hard it is to start a ministry, let alone maintain it. Real quick story. I was a youth pastor. I got elevated to pastor. Well, I was a youth pastor, and my youth department was bigger than the congregation. So, but what happened was God was transitioning me, and He transitioned me from Kentucky to Maryland. And I was happy because the job I got in Maryland was 6 figures. I said, okay, God, look at God. Look at God. And I got to Maryland, and as soon as I got to Maryland, probably about 3 weeks after I got to Maryland, God said, this is temporary. I said, why you tell me that on my first check? I got to be real with y'all. You tell me on this first check, I don't know what to do. I went from making like $11 an hour. It's a whole lot. I said, man, this like a whole month and a half of my last job. What you doing, God? You talking about this temporary? Yeah. How long I got? So what happened was we were doing great things, and I get a phone call. They said, we want you to come back. Somebody said, don't go back.
Don't go back.
We want you to come back and pastor the church. So I said, okay, well, I told my wife, and she was like, you going back where? I said, I believe God is calling me to go back. So I went back. No, I'm going to back it up. My wife went first because I was trying to, you know, I'll be honest with y'all 100. I was believing God, but I had just got another increase in my raise. And I told my wife, I'm going to be right behind you. I'm going to be right behind you, babe. I got to pray you all the way through. We got a good place. You just got a new, brand new, nice car. We'd be good. I'm going to send you back, and I'm going to be right behind you. But just let me finish this out. I got 2 week notice at least. And 2 weeks came to 6 months. My wife was like, look, you don't come back, I'm coming back. So I said, okay, God, it was April, and I said, I'm leaving. I'm going to tell my boss I'm leaving. Ain't nothing wrong, but I got to go. My boss tells me in the office, if you ever get tired of living on faith, you can always come back to this job. And to be honest with you, from Kentucky, or from Maryland to Kentucky is a long ride when you got that echoing in your head. Because I left there with 6 figures, and I left with no job. I wasn't going to get paid at the church. They weren't going to pay me to be the pastor. So I had nothing but my retirement. So I said, God, how am I explaining this to my wife? Like, she knows, but she don't really know that like my job ain't really transferring. I was believing by faith, God, halfway there you can give me another job and I can just go in. But it didn't work that way. I say all that to say this. I did all that and God provided. I got there on a Saturday night. Sunday morning, he woke me up. I was about to go to the church, pastor. And God said, no, don't go there yet. Go on vacation. Like this is the devil. So I left there. I went on vacation. We went to St. Louis for a week. And on the way back, it was Saturday. On the way back, I get a phone call. It was Sunday. On the way back, I get a phone call. And the lady called me. She says, are you Mr. Cooper? I said, yes, it's me. I thought it was my government job. Like, yeah, they done transferred it. Look at God. And she said, this is so-and-so and so. We want to offer you a job, but it's only paying $15 an hour. I said, I'll take it. So I'm doing all this, sacrificing and stuff, and I started pastoring the church, and the church is growing big time. And it's really growing, and they doing all this new stuff, and midway through, God says, your season almost up. I said, you are kidding me. I'm going back to Maryland? Because pastoring can wear you out. Because y'all hard to deal with something. And I said, what do you mean, God? And he said, this event you about to do at the church is going to be your last event. And the event was named Redeemed. I ain't know all this. The church name wasn't Redeemed. I ain't gonna say the church name. But I said Redeemed. Okay, that's cool. But God gave me the vision of what my ministry was gonna be. And what was unwinding was it was a lot of religious Pharisees that was in position that didn't want me to progress.
Wow.
They conjure up some stuff and they say, well, one of the people, the trustees, that's a good word. The trustee went to the bishop and said, I think he's getting bigger than you. So I had an event named Redeem. I had everybody in there. Drug dealers, drug addicts, some of everybody. And people got delivered. They gave their life to Christ. I got witnesses in here. They gave their life to Christ. The deaf started to hear. Young kids was coming up saying, I want to be redeemed in God. People was throwing stuff on the altar. And the only thing that I got a call on Monday morning to have a meeting with the senior bishop and the head deacon and all these people. They said, Pastor Cooper, we have a problem with your events. I said, okay, what's the problem? These are the words. I'm in church, so I ain't lying. You had all them folks in our church.
Oh, wow.
Come on now. Come on.
And I was like, what all folks? They like my people. I know they gonna ride with me.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? You said they was in there with the pants down. They was smelling like weed. They was smelling like alcohol. Just because you don't smell like it don't mean you don't do it. Right? So they said all this stuff to me. And they said, you got to make a choice. You want them or you want this. They just built a new building. I kind of went in my pocket and took all the keys off. Slid them across the table. And I said, I'm going with them. The head deacon said, you must be crazy. You must be crazy because you got to have all of this. But you going to go out there with them? And I said, evidently you don't know what you're called to do. So you can have this because y'all can't really afford it anyway. Be wondering, I'll do with y'all. I got in the car, and to be honest with you, Pastor, I cried for about 25 minutes. Because I just said, how am I going to tell my wife? It's all right. How am I going to tell my wife that I just quit the church?
Come on now.
And I'm sitting there praying and crying and weeping and all this stuff and trying to figure out how I'm going to word it right. And God said, just tell her like it is. I get back in the house and we had just had our newest baby. We had just had her a couple months old. And I said, babe, look here, right? About Bible study tomorrow. We ain't gonna have it. She's old church counselor. I said, well, I mean, you know, I resigned. And she said, thank God. And I was like, you happy? And she said, I'm glad God finally revealed them devils to you.
Wow.
And we've been going strong even some of them devils came to our church and got delivered and saved. Even the one they were trying to hold in bondage. He done came with us and got delivered and set free. And they still got them same 20 people left in the $600,000 building. And they still don't like jeans, t-shirts, do-rags. And I say that because God told me 3 names that you're going to experience in this walk. The 3 names were Joshua, John the Baptist, and Paul. The stages of your ministry, you're going to have to put on those garments. You're going to be very strategic. You're going to be very different. But you ain't going to play no games.
That's it. That's it.
And never change from that, no matter who wants to accept it or not. Because if you start changing to be that what they want you to be, then you become their puppet. And then when you become their puppet, God will pull you out the pulpit.
That's right.
Because that's not what he called you to be. You didn't go through all the hell in your life to be like somebody else. You went through that to be what God called you to be. I've been to the place where I wanted to commit suicide. I took a whole bottle of Oxycontin and woke up the next day rested. I put the gun to my head many times. They said I suffer from PTSD. I'm good though. As long as they give me that check, I'm gonna move with it, go just like that. But I'm healed. But I dealt with depression, trying to fit a mold of somebody else that don't really care about you. I wanted to commit suicide. I was trying to look the part, coming to church preaching, but then going home like you said. I I can't be mean. They want me to put this collar on this robe. It's too hot. This ain't her apartment. I ain't trying to do all that. But they wasn't there trying to cast spells anyway. So now I don't have time to deal with foolishness.
That's right.
My wife said, you don't have no gray hair or no wrinkles. How do you do that? Because I pray. And I learned when to let stuff go and when to pick stuff up.
Amen.
That's why I don't look like what I've been through, because I don't keep thinking about what I've been through. If I've been through it, I've been through it. My granddaddy used to say, ain't no parking spaces in tunnels.
All right, come on now.
It's for you to go through it. And when you're going through a tunnel, everybody can't see you.
That's it.
But you got to keep going through it. I don't know who that's for.
Yeah.
Some of y'all just need to go through it. I know it's dark right now. I know you feel like, I don't know what God is trying to do. But God said, just keep going through it. Because what's on the other side of it? You're not only going to think about what you've been through, but what you've been through is going to be a testimony for somebody else. Because somebody else is watching how you walk it out. And if you can't walk it out right, you're going to make them stumble. So sometimes you have people looking at you and you don't even know they're paying attention to you. So it's okay to go home and cry. But before you come out the house, wipe them eyes. Give you some Visine drop and say, look, all things are possible if you believe. Greater is he that's in me. Let me get the scripture, because I definitely didn't want to preach long. I'm not even going to preach long. I'm going to touch on 3 notes and then I'm done. If you can, turn to the book of Nehemiah. Book of Nehemiah, chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse number 6. Once you get it, say, I got it. Nehemiah 4, verse number 6. Once you get it, say, I got it. If you ain't found it yet, say, hold up. Nehemiah chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse number 6. Y'all real quick, get the musicians a hand clap.
Amen.
Sometimes they get overlooked, especially the straight ones.
Say that. Yeah. Say that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The bill, sir. Yes, sir.
We just overlook the straight ones.
Yes, sir.
Nehemiah chapter 4.
That was good.
Yeah.
Verse 6. And the word of the Lord reads, so we rebuilt the wall till all of it reached half its height. For the people worked with all their heart. Somebody said all their heart.
All their heart.
But when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Assad heard that the repairs of the walls had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed. Somebody said the closing of the gaps.
Closing up the gaps.
They were very angry. Somebody said angry.
Angry.
They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. Skip down to verse number 15. Verse number 15 said, when our enemies heard that we were aware of their plot and that God had frustrated it, we all returned to the wall and each to our own work. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord.
Amen.
When our enemies heard that we was aware of the plot, I'm going to preach for a moment with the title, The Problem with progress. The problem with progress. All of us in life should be progressing somewhere. You should make a daily decision to make progress. I don't know who the philosopher was, but they said without no struggle,